All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are jumping right into a real-time investigation of an incredibly strange, overgrown mansion that is hiding a pretty chilling secret. We're venturing deep into the heavily wooded landscape of New York to examine a property that, at first glance, looks like your standard abandoned home. You probably know the type. Maybe the owners pass away and there's just no family left to claim the estate. But, as we're about to see from the evidence gathered on site, this place is entirely different. It's an absolute mystery, and we're going to try to piece together exactly what happened here. But before we even step foot on the property, we really have to ask this crucial question to frame the bizarre puzzle we're about to uncover. Because we aren't just looking at old furniture covered in dust here. We are looking at a home where passports, full wallets, money, and active credit cards were simply left sitting on dressers. I mean, imagine that. What possible scenario forces people to just vanish without the most vital items they need to exist in modern society?
So let's start with Section 1, the overgrown fortress and how nature is reclaiming the exterior.
As we make our way up the long, winding driveway toward where the owners would have normally parked, the level of overgrowth is literally staggering. It's genuinely confusing how a car could even navigate up to the two-car garage given these dense, untamed woods. Off to the side, there's a man-made pool, maybe a former koi pond that has completely degraded into a frog-filled swamp. And right near the heavily overgrown garage, there's a rusted, half-buried snowblower just rotting in the dirt. So there's this profound tension between that decaying fortress-like exterior and the shocking reality waiting inside. The front door itself is actually incredibly chic, featuring some of the most intricate, beautiful woodwork you can imagine. But then, you look at the back of the house through the trees, and there is a light on. The electricity is actively running. A place that looks like a forgotten wooden cabin lost in the middle of nowhere is literally still drawing power from the grid. The explorer who first breached this property absolutely hit the nail on the head with this thought. Because the second you transition from that dense, overgrown outside into the home, the atmosphere shifts drastically. Almost immediately upon stepping into the entertainment room, you are hit with this intense, lingering smell of animal feces, which pretty much proves cats and dogs once roamed these halls. And despite that really chic entrance, a chair in the room is completely covered in a thick layer of white mold. Let's move on to Section 2, a bizarre interior full of architectural oddities. The design choices here are deeply fascinating and honestly, super unconventional. In the living room, you have these massive, triangle-shaped ceilings reaching 12 feet at their peak, paired with a beautiful wraparound couch and intricate leaf pattern trim. But then it takes a strange turn. The hallways look like they're made of real wood, but they're actually lined with a cheap plastic. Out in the garage, there is a bizarre, steep drop-off area leading to this heavy, dungeon-looking door with absolutely no stairs to access it. There's a secret locked room and a bathroom that can only be reached by climbing a storage ladder. And perhaps the most unsettling choice of all, an entire master bathroom where the floors, walls, and yes, even the sides of the bathtub are completely covered in carpet. You can literally feel the visceral dread of moving through these dark, strangely designed spaces right there. Navigating this house means moving from beautiful, sunlit rooms where the red carpet has actually turned yellow from years of sun exposure into dim, creepy hallways illuminated by just a single dying light bulb. It feels exactly like a horror movie set, especially when you remember the house still has an active power grid humming through the walls. Which brings us to Section 3, Frozen in Time, an uncanny valley of abandonment. The true shock of this mystery really hits when we realize the house wasn't just abandoned, it's more like it was paused mid-sentence. Unlike typical hoarders or slow move-outs where things are gradually packed away in boxes, this space is entirely frozen. The kitchen lights were literally just left in the on position. The kitchen itself is perfectly organized. Olive oil and supplies are exactly where they belong in the cabinets. Out by the breakfast nook, there is a jukebox left out where the owner probably listened to CDs while cooking. In the master bedroom, there's a box TV that's been sitting there for years, actively bouncing a no-signal screen around in the dark. It creates this terrifying contrast with the growing mold and the dead cactus just sitting abandoned in its pot. So when did this actually happen? Well, by mapping out the dates found inside the home, we can start to build a timeline. The explorers bravely opened the refrigerator, which miraculously was entirely odor-free, by the way, and found a dated item from 2016. Furthermore, legal documents left behind show a driver's license issued in 2014 that officially expired in 2018. This leads us to estimate that this bizarre time capsule has been sitting perfectly untouched for roughly 10 years. Let's dive into Section 4, the clues left behind and who lived here.
Stepping upstairs into those custom carpeted bedrooms, we kind of become detectives, piecing together the fragmented identities of whoever lived here. And as we comb through the belongings, a surprisingly vibrant picture emerges. The evidence heavily suggests the home belonged to a younger gay couple. We start finding deeply personal clues scattered across every single floor. There is forest-themed wallpaper that suggests a deep love for art and nature. We find Mata Ferraris, old RC cars, and cassettes tucked into a custom carpeted bed frame. There's a beautiful crystal chessboard in the living room, and gym equipment is inexplicably scattered everywhere, from the basement all the way up to the entertainment rooms.
But I gotta tell you, exploring these rooms is not for the faint of heart. The tension completely spikes in the dark second bedroom with a terrifying false alarm. The explorer genuinely thought they had stumbled upon a body hidden beneath the sheets of a bed. But, mercifully, as hearts raced, a closer inspection revealed it to be just a stuffed dog tucked away near a crevice, completely filled with stuffed animals. Talk about a jump scare, right? It's a stark reminder of how scary and unpredictable investigating a property like this can be. Once we shake off that scare, we uncover some of the most vital clues yet sitting right in the closets and dressers. We find a Verizon employee ID card. We find framed family photos of a man who appears to be around 35 years old, including pictures of him riding a bike. There's a camera just sitting casually on a dresser. Downstairs, massive dog collars confirm the source of those lingering animal scents. But perhaps the most intriguing item is a membership card for the Trump Marina Hotel and Casino. This drastically shifts the tone. Because while these artifacts paint a picture of a vibrant, active life, that casino card specifically introduces the chilling possibility of gambling debts or even some kind of foul play. Finally, Section 5, the missing pieces, an unsolved mystery. We now reach the climax of our investigation. Breaking down the contents of the wallets found in the master bedroom reveals something truly chilling. They found a wallet belonging to the 35-year-old man and another wallet belonging to his husband. And inside, a Starbucks card, an AP card, active credit cards, driver's licenses, and incredibly, their emergency medical information, which actually contains the exact address of the home we are standing in. I mean, I have to ask you again, what kind of scenario forces two people to flee without their money, their credit cards, or their primary identification? And guys, it gets even stranger. Nearby, their official passports were just left behind. In the bathroom, illuminated perfectly by a tall skylight, there was fresh hair sitting in the sink right next to a shower that is now slowly filling with black mold. The towels are still hanging up as if they were just used. The walk-in closet is entirely packed with expensive shoes and formal suits. This strongly suggests they literally shaved, showered, prepared for their day, and then just vanished into thin air. You would think that leaving behind such sensitive, identifiable documents would make it a piece of cake to track them down. But there is absolutely no record of foreclosure on this heavily wooded property. There are no obituaries matching their names, zero digital footprint of their deaths online. And clearly, no family members ever came back to claim the house, the $1,000 tractor left out in the garage, or any of their personal belongings. Hoping for just one last shred of evidence, the explorer checked the final frontier, the basement. But even the basement, which reeks of decay and is covered in ceiling-to-floor black mold, offers absolutely no answers. It only holds those massive dog collars and the dark echoes of the past, leaving the rest of the house above to just silently rot with the light still burning. So as we close out this explainer, I really want to leave you with this final haunting thought. The grid is still feeding electricity to that bouncing TV screen. Their passports and credit cards are still waiting right there on the dresser. If their entire lives are still locked inside this overgrown fortress, are they ever coming back? I highly encourage you to drop your own theories about this sudden, unexplained disappearance down in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive, and I'll see you in the next explainer.